District Board of Directors. It's August 21st, 2025. It's 7:33 p.m. I'll do the roll call. Director Young,
Present.
Director Sofke,
Present.
Director Slater Carter,
Here.
and Director Boyd is here. All right. Let's go to the first thing on the agenda, which is the president's statement. And I have a few things. So let's start with the lawsuit. 8 years going, Half Moon Bay suing its partners El Granada and Montara. And on last Tuesday, the court ruled. And in short, the ruling from the judge, each agency must pay their share, as agreed to many long years ago. And I want to read a few comments from the court. And these are mostly quotes. Having considered all of the evidence and arguments, the court finds that the history shows that there were options and that the parties chose Plan F. There were several plans, which requires maintenance of all of the components by everyone. This initial plan was not desired by the other parties, particularly Montara, who would have to abandon their original plant and then build the IPS to get everything down to the plant, the facility in Half Moon Bay. Further on, the behavior of the parties demonstrates that they managed it as described by the JPA between general budgets and project budgets, essentially until prices got too high and the city started objecting. So these arguments related to the benefit of certain components is not relevant to the court's interpretation of the consolidated IPS, which requires all parties to pay for maintenance of all components regardless of benefit. And then to sum up, the judge said, as a result, the court does rule that the specific replacement and improvements at issue in this case, which did not expand or transform the IPS, but rather kept the entire consolidated wastewater system operational, do constitute maintenance under the agreement, and therefore the city is required to pay their share.
Here.
So
Clarity.
the court was quite clear.
Twice.
And I'm going to sum up my comments as saying the only option we have now is to go forward, and the only way to go forward is to go together.
That's right.
All right. Now on a different topic, and I know we have a number of people here with us tonight who may have some thoughts on Seal Cove. So the board recently ended the Seal Cove emergency at our July 17th public meeting. And the staff report included detailed information about the status and what's known currently. It's available on the district website. Further updates are also posted there and included in our newsletter, or will be. Any future Seal Cove related items will be on the agendas on our website, and you can receive those by email as well. So you can stay informed and attend and participate in these public meetings. Tonight, we'll hear any comments and concerns during public comment. But Seal Cove is not on the agenda, so we won't be discussing it here tonight at the board level. And then third, we have something that kind of exciting. It's an opportunity for us to remember that everything we do here is about civic duty. And tonight we will be hopefully talking to some people about their interest in stepping up and possibly serving. And civic duty is something this country would do really well to be thinking about daily. And this is an exciting time to actually live out a bit of that work that this country is founded on. So I'm excited, and I want to commend everyone who gave thought to it, because I know more people gave thought to it than are here. But I'm also really grateful to have people here. And I'll tell you, having put myself out for an appointment a long time ago, I still remember it's a little nerve-wracking, and putting yourself out there, putting your name out there, talking about yourself, and then having somebody vote on whether or not, it's a bit of a reach, and I really appreciate anyone who's willing to do that. So for everyone who's thought about it and everyone who is willing to put themselves forward, thank you. Before we start, and members of the community, please thank the people who are stepping up. All right. That's my president's statement. I'm looking to the audience for any public comment for items that are not on the agenda.
You know, I don't see Clemens here.
Oh, let me explain. Clemens is in remote tonight, so I may take a little more hand in running the meeting.
Right.
So, but he's here by Zoom.
Well, I'd like to make a comment.
Okay, I'm still checking members of the public.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Catherine?
I'm doing this as a member of the public in my role as president of the Harbor District Board. We are planning on having several events. We're going to be having a Rooney event for it's a run, a 5-10K walk run event. You can see the posters. And it is from a foundation that was formed when Arune is the name of the child that was lost killed in the ocean. And so the purpose of this foundation is to raise funds to help teach people about the hazards of the ocean. And then October 25th, we're going to have what we call our first annual trunk or treat. And we're inviting people to decorate their cars, either just the trunk so you can open it up, or the car in a Halloween theme. Come down to the Harbor District from 1 or 2 until 4 or 5 and participate in games and candies and little trick or treats about ocean safety. And just as a good, safe place for kids to be able to enjoy the ocean, learn about ocean safety and get together as a community. And it's not on Halloween, it's after Pumpkin Festival.
Two minor questions. The first one, the Aroni thing, what is that?
That I've got to look it up. You can walk to the stop sign and you'll see the poster for it on Fourth Street.
Roughly next week or a month?
No, it's about a month from now.
Okay, and the other, is there, if this involves decorating cars, is there any way to keep Montara from buttering this weekend?
We're inviting.
Montara is the land of psychedelic Halloween houses.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know, invite us to decorate something.
Well, we were thinking that we could all have fun and people could either, or just costume themselves.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Catherine. Sid?
I did email to Clemens just before I came. I saw that Greg posted a wonderful article on Coastside Buzz. Yeah, I guess it's coming out in tomorrow's edition about how wonderful MWSD was to have participated in the only sewer district that participated in the LHMP and got $1.5 million for SAM.
LHMP,
Local Hazard Mitigation Plan.
thank you, it's a county and a federal fund for emergency.
And the RNA fund is for those buoys that you see, because people were, drowning on rip currents. It's because California beaches all up and down the whole coast. So that was very tragic. It happened right in Half Moon Bay.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say because
all right.
it's coming up.
Okay, thank you, Sid. Let's go to Michelle and then we'll go to Bill.
Hi, I just wanted to say that was a really cool article. I'm grateful that Greg took the time to write it. It was kind of nice on Nextdoor because I'm dumping everything into Nextdoor now. What an audience. They love it. Anyway, David Gorn, Coastside News, he saw the article and he was just thrilled to bits. He said it was a very important article. Thank you very much is what he said. So there you go. You're famous.
Thank you, Bill.
All
right, Bill.
Notes at the end. Can you adjust it? She sounded like she's in a tin
Could we
can.
turn the TV up a bit? I don't
Well, they're right there at the end of this table.
If you can hand it to me, I can do it. All right, great. Thanks. That may help a little bit. All right, Bill.
First of all, I'm super delighted about the result of this lawsuit because it had been hanging in the air for 4 or 5 years before I ever showed up here. And so the air is clear and even before that, I was imagining that the contributions I have most to make fit in 2 to 3 minutes, best in 2 to 3 minutes at the very beginning of a meeting, because they are not about any particular item on the agenda, they're about the general application of laws of science to governance in ways that we enjoy it and can keep it going. And I was going to imagine pontificating for a couple minutes about how we could rearrange the room and make sure that people can be in here and get back to the kind of governance which worked for about 5,000 years until 10 years ago when Zoom showed up. We don't know if that one works, but I'd love to taste the old school stuff. I'd love to talk to people about it. I was planning on spending longer, but since we have actual people here doing actual more important things, I'll save the longer tirades for later.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Bill. That does remind me, I want to put one button on the lawsuit matter. Next up, the defendants, Granada and Montara, we're gonna be working with the judge to put together the formal ruling, which is not come out yet. The written form of that.
It's
Which will be-
standard court.
Yeah, this is normal procedure.
Okay.
And then that'll be, Half Moon Bay will have a chance to weigh in, and then at some point, the court will publish this, and then there'll be a period for possible appeal. So it's not over till it's over.
Right.
And I want to emphasize, I think many of us hold that the way forward is together. So it's been acrimonious up to this point. It's time to see if we can do something about that to move forward together. And so I want to encourage everyone to think in that direction and think about what helps us work together. We long held to the theory that prevailed in the court, but at this point, who's right is less important than finding a way to step forward together and see if we can make a partnership work. Half Moon Bay is calling for consolidation. Before consolidation, let's try partnership and let's see if we can make that work. And if we can make that work, okay, we can talk about other things, but that's got to be first. And for decades, we did do that. We'd like to get back to that. So, and then, and now I'm blanked on the other thing. Maybe I'll think of it later. Oh, I wanted to mention, we do have room for more people in the room, not a whole lot more, but some work has been done to reinforce the floor. That's one of the first steps. Some remodeling effort will come, and we're hoping to have a much easier time accommodating more people than we have in the past. But right now we can fit a few in, where before we could only fit one. So the good step forward. I want to thank staff for getting it this far and for having the plans underway to go much further. All right, with that.
Wait, one sec. On the Half Moon Bay lawsuit press release from Half Moon Bay, it was talking about consolidation a little bit, you know, water and sewer and blah, blah, blah. But could the county take over all of it?
That's not on the agenda.
I know it's not. I'm just asking, is that, you know, they do have other districts that they,
Each agency is a government agency, and reorganizing government agencies is a big deal. So
I know,
county take it over would not be a simple matter.
right.
And
I
we would
like to
have.
see this not discussed
Okay,
tonight.
we want-
Maybe
I'm
we
just-
could have an agenda item on it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I just want to say complex topic, and yeah, with Catherine, it's really not on the agenda.
You brought it up.
All right, let's go to, well, they're not in this meeting. New business item 1, review and possible action concerning vacant position for board of directors. Clemens, I can read this if you like, or if you'd like to.
That's fine. I can introduce it. Thank you, Scott. So we have Peter Decker notified the district in June. That
But you're fuzzy.
You're really
Bad
confident.
audio.
Okay, let me, hey Clemens, the audio is really fuzzy. I think we've seen this before. Let me just jump into it. I've got the staff report here. If it's okay, I'll just go ahead and read that. Is that okay with you? Okay, all right. Reading glasses on, do a little reading. On June 13th, Director Peter Decker notified the district and board members of his resignation effective July 3rd, 2025. After, I'll just interject, after years of excellent public service. At the July 3rd meeting, this board determined to fill the vacancy by appointment and authorized the general manager to notify the county election official and to authorize staff to immediately post the notice of vacancy, including an invitation to apply for appointment. and that the board will hold interviews and select an appointee to fill the vacancy no later than September 1 of this year. To date, the district received one letter of interest, but that letter was subsequently withdrawn. As the date of this writing, the district has not received any further interest, but stay tuned because we have some signs of interest. At this time, the board may receive and consider interested persons present during this meeting and make the appointment. Alternatively, if there are no candidates and further time is needed, the selection can take place at a special notice meeting to occur no later than September 1, 2025. As the board was previously advised, the person appointed or elected will hold office for the balance of Director Decker's unexpired term, that is, until the next general election on November 3rd, 2026. Further, because Director Decker was elected by at-large voting prior to the district's transition to a by-division election system on December 31st, 2023, his vacant seat must be filled by a person residing in divisions 1, 3, or 5, since these 3 seats will be open in 2026. And the recommendation from staff is to consider and or hold interviews of those persons interested in being appointed to the vacant director position and appoint the director by adopting the attached resolution filling the vacancy by appointment. Or alternatively, consider and or hold interviews of those persons interested in being appointed to the vacant director position and appoint director by adopting a resolution filling the vacancy by appointment at a notice special meeting to occur no later than September 1st, 2025, and direct the manager to post notice that the district is still accepting letters of interest to fill the vacant director's seat, which will be filled at an upcoming notice special meeting of the board. Now, that's the either or. We either do it tonight or we have another meeting. That's the short of that. So,
Excuse the interruption, President Board, sorry, President Boyd. I think we
Yes.
skipped consent agenda, so we could finish this item and then go back if you'd like, or maybe take a pause and do consent agenda first.
Correct, we did have the consent agenda.
that is correct. I was so excited about
You're
this.
so excited.
Let's just. put
Let's
the-
reorder the agenda and do the consent agenda after this one.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm all excited. All right. So I would like to poll the local audience and the remote audience to see if anyone is here considering putting themselves forward for this opening. So I recognize two members locally. Do we have any on the remote? Okay, I'm not seeing any on the remote, so let's turn the matter. I think it would be good if we took turns and had each of you introduce yourself and say a little bit about your thoughts about.
Did you want me to sit there?
If you could come to this microphone here, the stand-up mic.
But the camera's there, so you're.
But we're here, so
Yeah.
I'd rather you look at us.
Well, then.
You can sit here.
No, let's do
Okay,
this.
whatever.
Let's do this.
Right.
Why don't we? Will this reach?
Find out.
Oh, that's good thing. Board, so it's mic number 1. Are you able to? Are you got one okay?
Well, good evening. My name is Leah Champion and I'm a Montara resident. There's a song.
What happened? Just switch.
Is this on now?
Okay, great.
Again, my name's Leah Champion. I'm a long-term Montara resident. I've lived in Montara since 1978. And I love the coast. I'd like to be a representative here because I think I could do a good job as far as being concerned and recognizing things that issues that I think I could be of service. My background is that in 1973 to 1983 here on the coast, I was in the restaurant business. I had the Crab Cottage restaurant down in the harbor. So I have a business background. I'm used to dealing with the public and a lot of issues, anything around a business. Also, I'm a current real estate broker, licensed real estate broker. And so I know a little bit about the law and contracts and things of that nature. So, and also I'm a good researcher. Back in the early 2000s, I was doing medical researches for people. I would be contracted by companies to research different medical products, not products, but there was a company that was developing different devices to try to have for insulin and for measuring the insulin in a person's body without having to puncture the skin. And so I helped them do the research for the project on that. So I'm good at researching. I'm good at understanding kind of detailed scientific things. I'm familiar with that. I'm good at contracts, and I've got an interest, a vested interest. I live here. I love it, and I would just like to see Montara be able to maintain its independence and integrity as an entity. That is kind of my goal, would be that this water district and the sewer district maintains its authority and its independence.
All right, thank you, Leah. Carl, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Carl Kale. I am not a longtime resident of Montara. I've been here for just about 3 years. I'm originally born and raised in San Francisco. Except for a 5-year stint in Pacifica 35 years ago, I've lived in San Francisco almost all my life. So my background is I have a small real estate investment company with my sister. Most of our buildings are in San Francisco, some one up in Napa and things like that. So my experience is, and then the funny connection is that I've had an uncle who worked for East Bay Mud for 50 years. So know the life of a water employees. So I brought here by the request of my neighbor Clemens, who asked see if I was interested in stepping up. And being new to the area, my wife has already started to volunteer at the senior center at the Table of Plenty. She just got back a few minutes ago before I left. I realized that I had not been doing my share or had not been doing anything to contribute. So that's why I'm here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But obviously, if you have any questions, feel free.
Okay. All right. Well, see, how should we do this? We don't do this very often,
Should
but
we ask for questions from the audience first?
yeah, sure. That sounds good. Yeah, why don't you just hold on to that? Do we have any questions from the audience that you might be interested in hearing from the candidates?
Do I see any hands?
I don't see any, but if you cogitate on it and raise your hand if you do come up with something. Let's go around the table and see. Why don't each board member think of a question, and we'll want to go around.
I have one issue area which stood out for me more than anything else in the 2.5 years since I've been on the board, and in the 5 dozen years before that, where scientifically I understood why this became my issue area. And that is essentially how one manages the tilt between real in-person interaction, where I get to see you guys in the face. The camera's over there and it's looking at the back of your heads, and I'm happy with that. Because otherwise, I'd be looking at the back of your heads and I get a better bandwidth than they do. But that's kind of the gist. How do we manage the tilt? Which way do we aim? Do we look at the camera and the screen, or do we look at each other? Do we sit in the same boardroom, or do we lob emails and videos of each other, roughly? And I'm wondering if either one of you has any opinions on that. It's a very vague, general, fluffy, offer your thoughts kind of question. It's not a challenge in any sort.
Well, I would prefer as much in person as possible, if there's room to be allowed, if there's some kind of organization that could happen. I think it's sort of like an analog versus the digital. I like in-person thing. I think it means a lot more. I think people would interact more if they were in the same room together. And I'm fully on board with that. I'm not a great fan of Zoom and Zoom calls. I like the interpersonal interaction. I think more is accomplished that way.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
From my experience, and I worked at a nonprofit, and the board meetings there, most of the stuff happened behind the scenes already anyways. So when you talk about being in front of the cameras, this is for for the public. So you have to adjust your standards for that. But meanwhile, during the week, you're sending emails and the agenda is being set, and so everything's happening behind until this moment today, and in these few minutes. Then the cameras are on, and you have to then espouse what the public needs to hear. Yeah,
Thank you. Let me just mention a thing. There's not a whole lot of behind the scenes work because public agencies in California, the public has a right to participate and observe all of these things. You're right about setting the agendas. Typically, that's the board president and the general manager working on getting that agenda set up. But behind the scenes, about the only thing that happens there is scheduling meetings, which that's okay to do that way. And then if there are communications with the attorney, that can happen as well for any of the closed session items. But everything else has to happen in public. So we bring more to the board meeting than you would see in like a corporate or nonprofit setting. And it's cumbersome. I do both. I can tell you, you've observed, but just so you're clear, because this is actually, it's an important part of doing the job. When I remember the Attorney General put out a handbook for elected officials here, and the introductory page said, "Congratulations, you're now partly public property." And I'm like, wait a minute, but that is part of what we sign up for. There are aspects of things that we're constrained by that general members of the public aren't. So, but then we also are given some duties that require, that we have like the ability to vote on things that, so it's a trade-off. But thank you. Those are great answers. Catherine, did you?
Well, I have a problem. I know both of them. I've known Leah. I haven't interacted with her in quite a few years, but I knew her early on in my political and public activities here, and she was, I thought very highly of her ability to analyze things, and then a good friend of mine said, well, I was saying, can you help me? And he said, I know somebody who you would probably love. And so she comes highly recommended from another friend of mine. And I'm sorry, I'm bad with names right now. You're
Carl.
Carl. I keep wanting to call you Kurt, but I don't know what. But anyway, Carl, I know because he has a dog that's like mine, and he walks past my house and he never yells at my dog for barking at his dog, and his dogs are always very well mannered. And I think either one of them would do a really, really good job. My concern right now is we have a whole lot of history that we're going to have to wade through to come to some conclusions on what Scott was talking about, which is the lawsuit, and from Half Moon Bay, and how that decision gets worked out. The other is that we've got this landslide area in Seal Cove. And that's going to be a long and a very complicated mess to sort out one way or the other. And so I know both of them, and my question for you is, and Carl, with you having been in real estate you also know what kind of complex and public interactions can happen just from leasing one apartment or one house to somebody. And how you have to think these things through. So I'd like to hear, what your thoughts on sort of the procedures and how this district should be interacting with the public, and what our major issues are as a district in the long run.
Is this in reference to Seal Cove? Or
Partly Seal Cove, but we're gonna have more of other kinds of problems, which our past attorney, Dave Schricker, was retiring, and he gave up every single other client, and he drove up from Cupertino for our meeting. And he gave up every other client because he said Montara always has the most interesting problems and solutions.
Mhm.
And so I like, just the general kinds of pollutions that are problems that can hit sewer and water. For instance, there is a problem with what's called I&I, which is outside flow getting into our sewer pipes during the storm season. And then going down to Half Moon Bay. I'm not asking for a technical solution, but how would you think about approaching that?
well, there's a system in place, correct, right
Yep.
now? And has it been working? I would,
Well, we've got this extra inflow coming in from cracks, or, it's kind of an issue. We've been fixing it.
so is this the property the land that's in El Granada? Is that-
No, it's all of Montara and Moss Beach.
Leaky system,
The leaky system.
It leaks going in rather than going out.
that we have to pay sewer charges on, but it's, not coming from a residence that we can bill.
Ah,
So everybody pays for it.
Yeah,
so,
If it gets in, it has to get treated. And pipes, and we've got 100 miles of pipes underground, and so,
My judgment will be on the kinds of questions you ask us.
yeah.
so has there been any, like with all the leaks, has there been a study done on that, where the leaks are, and a preliminary cost analysis of what it's going to cost to make a repair on any of those? Has that been started?
Partially, we did a smoke test years ago.
Years ago?
And I've been told that now people are getting wilier, and so they put a P-trap, the U-shaped
Hmm.
trap. You guys are both familiar with houses. So that if that gets filled up and we run in smoke from our sewer main, it still won't come up out of their rain gutters. So that was an old study that was valid at the time, but has been proven. People have figured out how to get around it.
Well, it seems like an updated study, maybe an outside consultant, that would have specialize in something like that, could be retained. And maybe come up with a plan, and that could be presented to the board, and to see if there's finances and how that could be handled. What is it workable? Is it in the budget? But it has to be dealt with, right? There's no getting away from the problem. And so it seems like maybe an outside consultant, could study the problem or come up with a plan, and to see how you can bypass the P-trap, I mean, there's got to be ways that can.
We can figure out.
That, so, yeah, so a better analysis of the situation, an updated analysis, basically.
I don't begin to, want to understand the whole system, but my first question is, does the Half Moon Bay lawsuit, when this gets resolved, and then I'm guessing there has to be a new system diverted to the waste treatment.
No, this is who pays for what we already have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so then that question stops, then we don't have to,
Mhm.
there's no big fix that's going to be happening on that end.
Part of the concern is that the infrastructure was put in 45 years ago. it wears out, has to be repaired, replaced. In order to keep the system functional, that the judge actually mentioned to keep the whole system functional.
Yeah.
But things wear out and you gotta keep the system up. And that's gonna be tens of millions of dollars.
Right.
Yeah, so that's already, that's coming up.
And in the question that Catherine had, is there any connection between those upcoming repairs and repairing this other overflow waste, overflows?
To be, to give you more information, and I apologize, maybe I shouldn't have picked that subject, but we're moving into the winter.
Yeah.
And you'll appreciate knowing this anyway, is we have some people on Coastside Buzz and Nextdoor have said, why do we have 4 general managers for one sewer system? Why don't we just, some people have said, consolidate the whole thing? Well, because Half Moon Bay has its very own sewer system that's its very own, and it feeds into the plant. So that's one system, and then the plant is the major processing system, so that's the second one. And then Grenada and Montara each have our very own pipelines and systems that go into a pipeline that goes down to the plant in Half Moon Bay. So we have 4 independent systems. And the I&I problem is one that is particularly noted for Montara because we have so many hills and up and down. And we also have unpaved streets for the most part. And Half Moon Bay has its own I&I system or problems, and I don't know what those are. Grenada has their own, but ours is partially due to our topography and our road maintenance and all of that kind of thing. So it's almost like the picture where you see a guy hanging from a tree over some alligators that has a lion at the bottom of the tree and a snake in the tree. What do you do how do you get out of this situation? Because we're kind of like that, and it's so. That's what I'm looking for is what you would think about how to handle that. And it's just in our area, just in the confines of Montara.
Not the Moss, not El Granada. either.
Not El Granada.
Okay.
They're very nice people and they're good neighbors.
And it's definitely both Montara and Moss Beach. They're all part of this one system.
Yes, yeah, I've seen the signs. Again, I'm not gonna pretend to know that much and able to solve it. Obviously, opening it up to the public and having discussions is probably, a big part of it. Yeah, it seems to, knowing San Francisco very well, knowing they had sewer problems and overflow problems, but they were sued by the Environmental Protection Agency for sending raw sewage out into the ocean. So they just spent money and built that whole waste treatment plant out near the zoo, right? So money solves everything, but if you don't have a lot of it, then so again, I don't pretend to know that much.
No, that's
Yeah.
it, and I don't expect you guys to. That's why I asked the question, because I'm more interested in how you explore a problem than what your answer is.
One thing I would say is that what about the people who are out in the field? The guys that are doing the work. Do you get a lot of input from them, their ideas of what needs to be done? I mean, the guys in the field doing the work that are saying the problems.
Only through Clemens. We don't have any interaction with them, unfortunately. Only through Clemens, our general manager.
I see.
So the answer to that is, well, yes, of course, and the team has eyes on all parts of the system all the time in varying degrees.
I was just wondering if there was like Because there could be somebody out there that's working here that, you know, is close to the thing, but have they been asked their ideas as far as some solutions?
Absolutely.
Maybe we could get.
No, absolutely. The answer to
You
that.
might be able to answer.
The answer to that is, of course, and we talked about the team here, we talked about the team at SAM, and we talked about how the teams work together. And on top of that, we have a water engineering firm and a sewer engineering firm, and they have a lot of knowledge and insight as well, and very familiar with the whole thing all the way down into Half Moon Bay, but especially our parts. And so, no, we do rely on people who have actual, you know, hands-on, eyes-on knowledge and information. It's a key part of how this works. I've got a question, and
I haven't had a turn yet. Oh, you're next though,
I'm
right?
going around the table.
Okay.
So and we'll see after we've gone one pass if we want to go another pass. So let's see if there's any other question you really want to put out there. I'm going to do a double question, and I cannot lie. Allison sent me a couple of suggestions, and I liked them, so I'll borrow them. Have you served in a previous elected or appointed role is one, and then the other is, of the services that we provide, what most interests you or fascinates you about the work that we do here? So Carl, why don't we start with you this time?
So the first question is no. I have growing up and living in a large city like San Francisco, it's difficult. I ran the San Francisco SPCA administrative functions as an employee, not a volunteer, but I ran. So I familiar with quasi-governmental. It was a charity organization, but right when I started working, they just gave up the contract with the city for the animal control portion of that. So I'm a little familiar with some of that, but not my strong suit. What interests me? I think that, you know, we turn on the faucet and we just expect the water to come up, right? Places around the world, like Mexico or Afghanistan, that's not always true, right? So I think that, you know, we just take it for granted. And I got the bills from the little bills. There's always a flyer or a news release in the bill. And I always, for some strange reason, I never read the one in San Francisco, but this one it spoke to me. It was much more simpler. It wasn't just statistics and, you know, it was like, this is what's happening in your town. And it kind of brought out something in me that I was like, oh, I don't live in some generic large city that I don't have any say in anything. You know, my little voice is not gonna move the needle. So seeing that flyer and then, you know, talking to the neighbors, he's like, oh, okay, I live in a place where maybe I do have some, you know, say in how things could go on in
Yes,
the
you
future.
do.
So.
All right.
I think for me, it's a matter of timing for me in terms of like civic duty. Back when I knew Catherine, before I was getting involved in local government, and but things happened in my life that I had to stop all of that and do other things. And now I'm in a position where I have the time, and it's a way I think that I can give back now at this stage in my life. And to be able to help my community, I think that's my main interest. And water is everything. You need water. You know, homes can't be built if you don't have a hookup. This area can't expand if there's not enough water, or you can't service the homes without water. I mean, it's such a basic and important aspect of the community, and it's a treasure. And if I could be of help, if I could be of service, I would be honored to serve.
Great, thank you, Sid.
I can reach this.
That's good.
So I have a few questions. First of all, when I walked in, you said you live in District 3. What about you, Carlin? I didn't hear your last name very well. Could you spell it?
Kehl, Kale.
Oh, I thought you said Kehoe.
He lives in District
Kehl.
I'm in District 1.
Okay, I was asking him though. So you're District 1,
District
okay. So there is one district here that there's no representation for. It just happened to work out that way, and that's District 5 in Moss Beach Heights. Do you guys, either of you know anybody up there? Okay, so somebody will have to run for that seat when the time comes, because that one's up for election when this vacancy.
I think our attorney can.
Yeah,
make that judgment.
right, I know, so I'm still asking my questions. Thank you for letting me do that. So a couple of things I had, that I wanted to ask if you knew anything about, that are items that are coming up on our radar, is for a long time, we've wanted to buy or acquire, shall I say, the the Caltrans bypass or right away in the back of Montara, and it goes out towards Moss Beach, Sunshine Valley Road. And have you been aware that the county signed and renewed their letter to let us do that?
I'm not aware of that,
Okay.
but I do know of that area.
Okay, so
Exactly.
it's gonna be a long haul, because they still have put a requirement on it to get the a trails plan enacted, and has to be done by county planning. So I
Is
just
that-
wanted to know if you had any pros or cons towards acquiring that parcel, because it is got a lot of trees on it. That's what the neighbors back there have been complaining about.
And so what would be the goal for that property? What was your?
My goal,
Yes.
I would like to see it become somewhat of a passive park, like a park course, a place for trails, and not a big major park like the Marina Green or anything, but
And so
something like that.
so
But,
what was the issue with the trees? That there's too many trees?
there's one neighbor back there who has so many trees overlapping his property that it's really, the fuel load could burn down his house, because it's the adjacent property.
I
But
see.
right now it's owned by Caltrans, and they said they're working on it, but
So if
were
this
we
is
to
something-
become the stewards of it, we could have the water rights underneath it,
Oh,
which would be great.
that would be good.
Yeah.
But then would we incur the cost of clearing trees and things of that nature?
We don't really know, because we haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay,
Right now, I believe Caltrans is working on clearing those trees themselves.
oh, that would be.
So I didn't know if either of you knew about it, and then, go ahead, Carl.
Oh, regarding that, yeah, I've been back there, and it's very pretty. There is some GGNRA trails already back there. And I guess I don't know where your reservoirs are. Is that watershed? Is that a watershed area?
This would be, so that whole area is a watershed that all feeds down, it feeds on down, kind of along down Date, and we actually see how effective some of that watershedding is, because we've seen flooding at Dayton Hart and all along Cedar, and so but it's all coming off the foot of the mountain and then gathering and flowing down.
So thinking from the businessman, my concerns are, how much is it going to take to maintain it?
That's a big question.
Yeah,
I just
and-
wondered if you were aware of it. at all.
No, I'm not. And so,
And then some of my other questions are, let's see if I can read my own writing here. So moving forward, Bill and I are both on the strategic planning committee, and we haven't had a new strategic plan since 2015. So this was the year we had talked about having a new strategic plan and inviting the public to help us create one. And that's kind of been put on hold since the lawsuit, but would you have any input of what you would like to see us do moving forward as far as the district goes? As for now, you're just a member of the public. Right.
I would really have to study where you guys are first before I could make any kind of recommendation. I just don't have the knowledge of where you are and what's here first. I'd really have to study where you are first.
website, we still have the old strategic plan on there if you wanted to look it up.
Right, that would be my first step.
What about you, Carl?
Yeah, I did look a little bit at the website, and it was purchased from a private water company in 2003. So the strategic plan is only 15 years after, it's only 12 years after that purchase. So it is probably overdue for a new one.
It's 10 years old.
Yeah, and yeah, I again, I don't want to get my feet, stuck in my mouth
That's
by
okay.
saying something without knowing.
So my last question is, since you're both realtors, this is a question that has come up over time in a lot of areas. Pacifica has a point of sale ordinance for sewer laterals, and Catherine brought up I&I. Well, one of the things that sometimes happens in old sewer laterals, they start cracking and that sort of thing, and certain cities put that as a requirement for new homeowners at the time of sale to replace that sewer lateral, which is very expensive. And this Sam Carr and I mean over in Berkeley, they have that ordinance in Berkeley and they have it in Pacifica, but most of the realtor organizations fight it. So I was wondering what your thoughts were on something like that. We do not have that in our
Well, I've
district.
sold property in the East Bay, and this is where I've had to deal with that. And it was just part of the contract. If people are used to it, this is how it is. Sewer laterals have to be inspected. If you want to buy the house, either you work it out between the seller or the buyer or however that is, it can be negotiated. But it was definitely was something like, this is the deal. If you want to sell property or you want to buy property, sewer laterals have to be inspected and replaced if they don't pass. And it was just kind of, this is the way it is. And so that's something that's not, that's just my experience with it, was the East Bay when I was selling property over there.
Well, I guess my question would be, since we don't have that in our district, and Sam Cars comes out of the woodwork whenever something like that is proposed, would you be in favor of that or opposed to it?
Well, I don't,
Since it adds an expense to the property owner.
it is, but my experience is that once it's enacted and, people may fight it in the beginning, but once it's there, it's just another part of the steps that you go through to sell a house. It becomes normalized. And I think that could happen here. And it would be good for, it probably would help the water district to have those good sewer laterals put in and inspected. I think it would help the district.
Well, Sam Carr's opinion is that it's not the best way to get it to get a but if you put in a sewer lateral ordinance, it only happens when there's a point of sale, whereas if you said everybody in the district now has to have their sewer lateral inspected within 2 years
Oh,
or something.
now
then
that would be kind of tough sell.
it doesn't put the burden on just sellers, then it puts the whole burden on everybody. Anyway, what was your answer, Carl?
I do agree with you about once it becomes normalized, people just get used to it. But I see the issue. There are going to be transfers that are going to be not purchases to avoid some of these sewer lateral issues on older properties, right?
Some get missed in Pacific.
I went to law school. I'm not an attorney. I went to law school, and you study things. And the first thing somebody puts a law in, everyone turns around and goes, "Okay, how do we figure out how to get around it?" So that's how things work in reality. So, but I agree with you. I think once you my sister sells real estate in Mill Valley, and it's a strict sale, you change the sewer lateral. I mean, unless it's a certain years. So again, I'm not quite sure the ordinance. They're always just $10,000, roughly $10,000. Throw it into the ground, right? You're literally digging a hole and pouring the money into the hole.
That's
Like a sailboat.
At least that's actually the point,
Yeah.
as opposed to some home spending, not everything is that direct. All right. Let me ask, do you want to go one more round or do we want to go to a discussion?
No, I'm comfortable.
Me too.
I have one question for both of you.
Okay.
No matter who we pick, do either of you know anybody down in District 5 that you could recruit? Because I actually tried quite a bit and everybody said, believe it or not, I'm too old. Now, maybe it's because it's my age group I knew, but I even talked to some younger people and they said they were too busy. So everybody seemed to have an excuse in that area that they didn't want. And I even talked to the illustrious Carl May, who lives up there, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
says he's
I know his
available.
answer.
Yeah.
I've worked with him a lot.
But he would be
Yeah, I
good.
saw him the other day.
Yeah.
So, on that point, I was talking with someone earlier today about this very topic, and I'm glad you're thinking about 5 because
They're
you know
bacon.
we gotta rattle the bushes a little bit. But let me just put in a good word for young, busy people. I was in my 30s when I started on this board, and I was busy, but I don't know that it would be normal for people to step into public service like this who weren't already busy. Busy people are often extremely good at helping and jumping into a lot of things. I really like both of you saying, well, I need to learn more, and then asking questions to do some of that just right now, but also knowing there's more to know. It's a really interesting job. And the things that we know, you know, it's crazy. The really strange things that members of the community who are not professionals in the business wind up knowing. Like, I think all of us can talk about infiltration and inflow, and most everybody would say, but we normally say inflow and infiltration. That's the normal thing. And we know so much about it. We recognize the acronyms. That's why we stop each other and go, oh, we better mention what that acronym means, because we fall into that so easily.
Someone might tell Sam otherwise.
Sam, Sewer
Yeah.
Authority Mid-Coastside.
IPS, intertie pipeline.
Yeah, system.
System, right?
Yeah, but no, so younger folks who are really busy, yeah, civic duty takes some time, but it's really rewarding. And I don't know people who've done this job who didn't find something about it that was really rewarding. It's not always easy. Sometimes it can be downright hard. I can tell you, you know, that lawsuit took its toll. But I can also tell you that everybody involved is still standing and still talking and breathing, and for the most part, and we've all learned a lot through the process. So even that, you know, even that will strengthen the community for understanding some of these issues better and understanding some of the risks to our community. So let's go to board discussion and see where we land.
I have one more question. You lived here how long?
I've been here for just shy of 3 years.
And you've been in this area?
78.
70.
Since 78.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, geez, you're motivated. Okay, thank you.
Since 70.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Well, let me just say that I appreciate you both being here, and I'm delighted to have a choice, and I'm delighted to be feeling like we're gonna have a hard time making a bad choice, except that we do have to make a choice. So
Can I say something? Since I'm the newbie here in all respects, I won't be offended if you decided that you would like to choose her, because I'm here. I'm with my wife, and I love this place, but I don't have that kind of history here. So I don't need to, I don't need this to inflate my ego or to do anything like that. So I just want to put that out
I
there.
can tell you one advantage to not selecting you. You and Bill and I can talk on the corner about sewers all we want, about
Yeah.
the Brown Act,
Yeah.
and the water, and anything else we want.
well, I appreciate you saying that. It's hard to put yourself out there and then also to say, let's see how it goes. So, Bill?
I am super delighted that both of you are here. I got into this 2.5 years ago during COVID, and I was like the only one who sort of stuck through the seminar thing, and it's been sort of hit or miss. But now it's a choice. Both of you could do an amazing job here. It's too bad we don't get to just bank one of you for the future or something, but I don't think that's how it goes. But at any rate, thank you for showing up. Thank you for thinking about this stuff. That on its own is a huge sign of hope.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, to your point, I applied for a vacancy 2 times. And the first time someone else was chosen. And it was a good choice. But then another vacancy came up within a couple of years, and I again stood, and that time I was chosen. So one of the things in the first time, the people at the board table here were like, stick around, find ways to contribute. And they knew I did web stuff for the tunnel, and they were like, what do you think? Maybe to help us out a little bit. So I figured out a way to get Montara Sanitary District online back in like 1997. And we've been online ever since. Thankfully, I don't have to do that anymore.
Webmaster anymore.
It's iPhone
But
on a tripod. We were the first district
yeah,
in California, I think,
well, I don't know about California, but on the coast side for sure.
to videotape and broadcast our meetings.
Yeah, so whoever's not selected, there's plenty to do. Sid mentioned some strategic plan work. There's other things where people who want to volunteer in, there's often something where an extra set of brain and hands and eyes can do some good. So it's not formal, but there's kind of a soft banking thing here. So once we've identified you as interested, we've seen you. Yeah.
You know where you live.
That's right.
Shut off the water.
All right, others.
I'm just thankful you're both here. Like I say, I know both of you, different circumstances, different times. But I'm just gonna start off the roll call. I'm gonna vote for Leah.
Okay.
Cause I want us to have our 3 on the corner. And because the more communication, what makes this community so very, very special is we are all about 1 degree of separation. Either for your kids, your dogs, your walks, your interests, whatever it is. And we all here agree that this district has become the heart and soul of Montara as Moss Beach, because we lost our school, we lost our fire district, and this and the post office are the heart and soul. And I encourage so many people to come and listen to our meetings and get back to us about how you think we're doing, what we're doing, that kind of thing. New ideas are always welcome. None of us work alone as well as all of us do together. And I've known Leah for a long time, and I think at this particular time, I'm sure Leah voted, for instance, to buy the water district on the bond. And but Carl, I'd love to spend about 3 hours telling you about the history of the water district.
Not in this session.
Yeah,
Well,
we
maybe
do
if
have
I-
1 or 2 things to do afterwards. Sid, your
Yes,
thought?
I did want to say that I thought you were both great candidates, and that it was so interesting that 2 realtors showed up. Because, I am a retired realtor, 30 years in the business, and it takes that attention to detail sometimes to focus in on things, and you both have it, and I think that's really important. So it's kind of a hard choice, but probably I would go with the longevity. No offense, Carl. But also you sound like a person that would come back for a second bite of the cookie if there was a need. And I was running when there were 3 candidates, and when I was chosen, nobody, I don't think, came back, because I ran unopposed when the election time. I was appointed during mid-cycle because there was a person who passed away, unfortunately. But the second person went on a Mid-Coast Community Council, which they often have openings. So there's another opportunity to serve, and they cover the Mid-Coast, the unincorporated areas. So anyway, and then I told her, hey, there's a vacancy in District 5, why don't you come back? And she just, no. So anyway, so Leah, I'm probably gonna vote for you, and you probably don't remember this, but I probably talked to you on the phone decades ago, because my friend Rita Hartman, who lived on Second Street, she spoke very highly of you. Yeah, she was my mentor when I first got in the business. So I moved here in '88. Yeah,
I do.
well, she has MS now and she lives in Florida, but we can talk later.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill.
As I said, I'm delighted by both of you. It was really interesting that you have such different ways of thinking. I asked a rather vanilla question, and Leah talked about the nature of in person, and you talked about the nature of how cameras influence the discussion. Those are both huge. They both matter. Those are the kinds of insights we need here. But I get to vote for one. I'm going to be voting for Leah.
Okay. Well,
It doesn't matter anymore.
you've given us permission to make the decision easy.
Yeah.
Carl, I'm delighted that you're here. And I really hope we get to interact some more. One thing I enjoyed, both of you, we posed these, honestly, some of the questions posed to you tonight were kind of impossible. And Catherine said it, how it's what you do with the question. And a lot of what comes before the board, some of it's pretty cut and dried. Staff has really worked it through. They're lending something to us. But it's still our job to weigh it and see if there's, if we have questions, ask them and try to learn a little bit more to see if we can get to where we're comfortable. Look, staff makes great recommendations. It's rare that we tune those at all, but sometimes we'll ask questions and we all agree, hey, let's come back next time with a revised thing. It's all good. That curiosity is essential to the job and makes the job more fun and interesting. And you both were asking questions when we let you because we also have a lot to share. But that's also the nature of, I've seen many different people sit at this table and pretty much no matter how we show up, we always, by the time folks leave, there's always a deep appreciation for this is much more complex than we thought. And yet working with an excellent staff and with people of goodwill at the board table, we get a lot done and a lot to feel really good about. So I really liked how you talked about the community, especially San Francisco. You're a dot on a map, and maybe your supervisor, right? I mean,
A little bit. Yeah.
right? Yeah. I mean, and but here it's very different. It's really much more personal, and I'll just take the opportunity. People have said to me many times, "Oh, thank you for doing the job. It must just be a thankless job." I'm like, you're proof it's not.
You just said thank you.
Yeah, and it happens enough. I just get a good chuckle out of it. I'm grateful. But I've been accosted in the post office, but usually it's someone with something important to say, but more often than not, it's someone saying thank you. And, I was watching the board meeting. I'm like, you watched the board meetings? It happens. It happens. And so we know. Let me just wrap up. Thank you so much, Carl. And I think now at this point, I'd like to have a motion for nominating.
I move that we nominate.
Oh, we actually have the staff report I was supposed to do, and I'm ignoring it, and I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wow.
We have a resolution. And so
I move that we time now
appoint.
appoint Leah Champion per resolution number next in order. And I'd love to get your phone number, Carl.
Yeah, pass it around.
Clemens,
Have a second.
yeah, no, I didn't want it here.
I need a
was just
second.
gonna Write it down.
Oh, on what?
Motion.
The motion
A
of.
motion to appoint.
The
A motion to approve the
appoint, I
resolution.
second the motion to appoint Leah Champion.
All right.
Sorry.
We have to do certain things by the book.
Yeah.
All right. It's been moved and seconded for the resolution. Carl, did you have something to say?
No, I was just gonna, I should probably let you guys do business.
Okay. All right.
We'll hang out.
Well, we do have a few more items, depending on how curious you are. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. This is one of those happy occasions where I think we can do this by voice vote, by acclamation.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay, congratulations, Leah. The motion passes. Congratulations, Carl, for stepping up. And neighbors in the community, thank Carl and thank Leah. So Leah, we're going to,
you wanna grab your microphone? Oh, see, I guess that's it. Thank you.
let me see.
Well, no, she has to be sworn. Oh.
Yeah, you would need to be sworn before you can participate as a board member, and I was looking for the swearing in language and I don't have it in front of me, so I
I have
think
a suggestion.
Attorney online.
we do, and
I
I'm
have
in
a
conversation with the
suggestion.
attorney. Yes,
Chris,
Christine?
I'm authorized to do the swearing in. I certainly could read that for our new director, if that helps.
All right.
Okay,
Policies that you can swear on.
so it's probably the standard oath that everyone's heard on TV, but
Or
You can just-
investment, either way. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so hungry. You want some cookies?
No, thank you.
All right.
So is this in the on position?
I'm not sure.
That'll,
It was on before.
that'll be fine. So,
Oh, thank you.
okay.
so director, I'm sorry, your last name is Champion. Director Champion, I will read some words and you just repeat after me. I'll read a few words at a time and we'll go from there. And following the meeting at a future date, you'll have to come in and actually sign your written oath of office for our files. So it starts by I, Leah
I.
Champion, do solemnly swear or affirm.
I, Leah Champion, do solemnly swear or affirm
Yes.
Yes, that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of California.
perfect, that I take this obligation freely
And that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Almost done. And that I will well and faithfully discharge
And I will well and faithfully discharge
you got it, the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And the office you are being appointed to is Director of the Board of the Montara Water and Sanitary District. You're duly sworn.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank
A
you.
room full of people, applause. Leah, could you, how do we spell your first name? Is that Leah?
Yes,
Oh.
Leah.
All right, thank you. All right, when Catherine returns.
Yeah.
Do we have, let me get the board pack.
I've got my agenda here. If you, oh, it's in the book. Yeah. Have some cookies or anything?
If you have something you want me to, I can write on here.
I'll give you another one of my copies. You know what? Yeah, just you stuff all that, so.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll just write it. Here, I'll just write it on that.
Okay,
It's my car.
let's,
I'll give you another one to scribble on.
Okay.
Thanks.
let's now head on with the rest of the agenda. And see, item number 2. review and possible action concerning adoption of appropriations limit for fiscal 2025-2026.
I'm going to ask Peter to present this item.
Good evening, everybody. Peter Medina.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Yes.
No, this is our annual item that we approve around the beginning of the fiscal year, and it really is California law that we adopt the appropriations limit, which basically is the cost of living increase, which dictates that we will not spend more than our allotted share of tax revenue. We collect about $800,000 of property taxes each year, and we spend our user fees before we spend those dollars. And so this document that you see before you just basically displays that and says that we cannot spend over that amount of money, but we do not collect that amount of money. So I said we are constantly under the limit.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Leah, this is a normal item. What Peter is saying is this is required by state law, and every year we get the report from Peter, who serves as our accountant. He's a terrific addition to our staff. We're thrilled that Peter's with us. And so I think the rest of us have seen this before. Do we have any questions from the public or members of the board about this item?
I move adoption of the appropriations limit for fiscal years 2025 and 2026.
Second, as fast as possible.
Okay, so Catherine's motion and Bill the second, and this is to adopt the resolution next in order for the appropriation limit. Sid, do we have any questions or?
No, I'm just gonna show where we are in the agenda.
Okay,
Since she's
all right.
not quite up to speed like the rest of us yet.
well, I'm gonna do a voice vote on this one.
Just.
In fact, let's just all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yes.
Good. Is that a?
Aye.
You're an aye, okay. Yeah, if you say no, then I have to like stop and make sure.
You did ask, is there any opposed?
Any opposed? Yeah, right.
That's a no.
Yeah, the right answer for any opposed is always silence.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
Unless you want to oppose.
no, I don't know that that's it. Anyway,
Anyway.
no, I've enough kidding around. Okay, the resolution passes, oh, this is delightful, 5-0. It is great to have a fifth board member.
Can I ask a quick question? Cause I was busy. Is this for both sewer and water? Our appropriations limit?
It's for the district.
Okay, so both then, not divvied up 50-50 or anything. Thank you.
Okay, all right, item 3, review and action concerning receipt of funding for FEMA declared disasters on behalf of Sewer Authority Mid-Coast Side.
Once again, I will hop in here. This has been our standard practice for about the last almost 2 years now. When we receive funds from FEMA and Cal OES, they come through the district and they are remitted to SAM. Within the last month, we've received another remittance for about almost $22,000. And so this is the recognition of those funds, and the funds will then be turned over to SAM to further fund the repayment of the fiscal year 21-22 winter storm damages.
All right.
Is this the final one or we still have more?
No, not the final. Sam is still expecting. There's been another portion that has recently been obligated that is for about $78,000, which is in the process of working through the process with the folks at FEMA. So there's still a bit more to go, but we received the bulk of it. It's about $1.5 million thus far.
Every little bit helps. Thank you, Peter.
I'd like to, yeah, thank you, Peter. Thank you to all the staff members who worked hard to make this possible and to be able to apply for and receive and convey the money to SAM. This is tremendous. This is cooperation for the benefit of everyone on the coast. And it's just a terrific example of how one agency can step up and help out. SAM cannot do it. It's not structured in a way that will make them eligible to apply. So Montara did the work to do this. and we're thrilled to do it. And I'll tell you that at the SAM board, members from the other agencies were also thrilled. And so I want to convey, this is good. This is good. It's very positive. So thank you very much. And this is only to receive the report, no action on our part. All right, let's go to item 4, review and possible action concerning the employee wellness program.
Yeah, how does it sound now? Can you?
Much better, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this is also a standard item that we bring up every year now since I'm going to say roughly 6 or 7 years. The district offers a wellness program, and that is only for our full-time employees. And what it does, it contributes $25 per month toward some health or fitness expense. There's quite a lot of fee involved in this, but it is tied to a grant from the Association of California Water Agencies Joint Powers Insurance Authority. That's a long name. We call it Aqua JPIA. And they've been supporting this program, and this year we've received $272 in this wellness grant to continue this for another year. And again, this is activities that are helping to improve the health of the employee and general well-being. And they have to. There are some criteria that Aqua JPI watches over. So for us, the wellness program runs annually from September to September. If all eligible employees participate and claim the full monthly reimbursement, the total annual cost would be $2,400. This year, we've actually spent more than in past years and have used $1,114 and some cents dollars. So the recommendation here is to authorize the use of possibly up to $2,400 in district funds to support MWSD full-time employees' participation in wellness activities and reimbursing up to $25 per month per employee upon submission of proof of payment. Thank you.
Right. So we've got the recommendation in front of us. Do we have any public comment or questions from the board?
Question.
Yes.
Did they reduce part of it by 85%? It says here. It was necessary to reduce it, the 2025 amounts awarded to 85% of the amount requested.
That on the part of JPI
What's your question?
I was wondering why they did
Who
that.
are they?
JPIA is on the letterhead
Yeah.
to
Thank you.
Tracy and Clemens.
So one of the reasons, and this goes back to information from prior years. I'm assuming that this is very similar. In the past, there were less agencies that participated in the grant program with Aqua JPIA, and more agencies learn about this. So the total dollar amount isn't going up the same amount as, increasing by the same amount as the number of participating agencies increases. So that's why we've received in the past a bit more money. And that's why they're essentially saying, well, this is the amount that we can issue. Due to an overwhelming response means male participants.
Okay.
So does that mean that we come up with the difference, or that's all that the employee's gonna get?
What's in front of us is authorizing the use of up to $2,400 to support the participation.
I move that we approve the employee wellness program for up to $2,400.
All right, do I have a second?
Second, if no one.
All right, so motion from Catherine, a second from Bill. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much. Now we're gonna go back to the consent agenda and deal with my excitement. I'll just skip it. Does any board member wish to hold anything for consideration, or can we have a motion to approve the consent
I
agenda?
move that we approve the minutes for the regular meeting of July 17, 2025. Approve the financial statements for June 2025, approve the warrants for August 1st, 2025. August 1st. Oh, well, those are passed. Okay, I understand. As I move that we approve the SAM flow report, the monthly review of pertinent investment portfolio, connection permit application receives, and monthly water production report,
Yeah.
rain report,
Yeah.
monthly solar energy report, and monthly public agency retirement service report for May 2025.
I have a question on the water report,
We have a motion,
but she jumped ahead before I could ask my
that's
question,
okay,
so.
that's okay. Can we just have a second, and then we'll go to discussion?
Second, if
Okay,
I can ask my question
Yes, please.
afterwards. Thank you. On the total production in gallons on page 2, it says 2024. Is that a typo, or do we go a year behind on these graphs? It says on this page 3, annual water production 2025, and on the top of the blue page, it says total production 2024 gallons. So
I,
I just,
I better, hold on up. I don't have it up, but this sounds like total production 24. I'll have to double check, but it does sound like this is a staff error. Should be 25.
okay,
well, so let's say subject to correction of any typo, if there is one.
okay.
We've got the motion, the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay, the motion carries 5-0, the consent agenda is approved. Reports, we've not had a sewer authority mid-coastside meeting.
We have not since the end of July. And on the agenda for that meeting was the request from Half Moon Bay to do a study of groundwater inflow into the plant. And that was rejected.
We had a meeting after that one.
That was the one I watched.
We did, because we heard about that item again. But I think we reported on that. Did we report that last meeting? No, because we didn't have the first meeting. But we had that second meeting where that issue came out, right? Okay.
Can I say something about it when you're ready? About the SAM thing?
After we've done the report is the
Right.
best time to ask that question.
I know, or I wasn't sure if she's done.
Ask the chair. It's always through the chair.
Okay, through the chair, when the time is right, may I have a question about SAM?
Certainly.
No, did you have more on the?
No, that was the only meeting. We've had a lot of committee meetings and we're having a committee meeting tomorrow. We're working on bylaws. And and tomorrow is the operations committee report meeting.
Okay. Your comment?
Oh, yeah, well, I watched them, not live, but in the meeting, I watched the video. And it seemed to me that I've been reading all the Half Moon Bay reports when they have things. And they did a much bigger report about their groundwater, their water that's coming from upland properties on the east side of the highway. Flowing to the west, and they had that lawsuit, or I don't know if it was a lawsuit, but it's had to do with the Champs-Élysées Boulevard, where the neighbors were upset about, the water in the ditch there. And I don't understand why Half Moon Bay wanted to have SAM pay for a groundwater study right there. I didn't understand that.
They didn't explain it to us.
Okay,
Yeah, no, you're right to be wondering about
I
that.
was skeptical. It just seemed
Yeah.
like they wanted us to pay for it, but it
Well,
didn't have a reason behind
it
it.
was more than that, but that's a fine question
Okay,
that didn't get answered.
and you don't
Uh,
have an answer. Okay,
No, that is the answer, that it,
but they didn't explain
right.
it.
Just, I'm looking at the agenda, just quickly, we set the salary for the unrepresented employees. And we set the salary schedule, and then we authorized, we have grip pumps, we have 2 of them. It's time to replace them. We authorized the expenditure to do that and order them sometime back, but because of supply chain issues, they're only recently available to install. So we authorized about $120,000 to a contractor to do the work to remove the old ones and install the new ones pretty much simultaneously. I'll mention that staff has clearly done a lot of work to prepare for a timely and efficient process to get that done. It does take planning. It's really complicated work. Replace a couple of pumps. It's easy. No, it's a lot of work. I'm looking at one of our team members who's like, so I really appreciate the evidence from the team that a lot of thought's gone on into this, and was really glad to approve getting this stuff into operation, since we approved getting it replaced a long time ago, several years. All right, that's for Sewer Authority Midcoast. Midcoast Community Council, do we have anyone?
Greg's still here?
Greg's not still with us. Catherine, do you have anything?
No.
Okay,
I
CSD.
I did listen to that meeting too, and they, nobody came from either any of the agencies involved on, is their meeting just the Wednesday after the lawsuit was announced, and, Penrose came late to the meeting, but Claire announced it. So, no one from MWSD was there to announce
Okay,
anything about it, and, that's it for MCC for now.
CSDA and LAFCO.
LAFCO, our meeting is next month.
This is, let's do the acronym.
LAFCO is Local Agency Formation Commission.
Thank you.
And it is a state created agency that it operates within each county. And it essentially oversees the cities and the special districts, and does reports on how well they're functioning, and handles any annexations or divisions between districts, and or annexations for certain services into cities or into other special districts.
And municipal services reviews.
Yeah. Do you want to mention anything about MSRs? Are there any upcoming? Directors?
There are none coming up of interest soon. I've been following the one on the Broadmoor Police Protection District. It's one of the few, I think, 2 special police protection districts, and they are having some issues that concern LAFCO greatly, and there has been a move by some to dissolve them and annex their district into the city of Daly City. The folks in the district do not want that.
Okay.
This week, starting on Monday, is the California Special District Association Conference, and I will be attending.
Me too.
Me too.
Me three.
So, I guess you and I are the 2 who won't be at the CSDA conference.
Well, where is it located?
It's in Monterey, and
Oh,
you could probably talk to Clemens if you wanted to get some day passes to come. You could, there are hotels, but they're also, all the ones with the special rates are sold out.
yeah. Not this year.
And I'll just mention, just because we've got 3 people who said they're going to the same conference. We take very seriously, we don't talk district business outside of the public meetings. So if there's 3 of you together, it can only be on topics about not district business.
How's the food?
Yeah, social things.
Well, I'm also on the Special District Association for the state of California. So.
Yeah, so this will be good. Every time any of us goes to a conference, there's always something interesting coming back. Phil, you brought us some fun things from the last
water
conference.
conferences are amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this a policy that's over and above the Brown Act or? is that-
No, this is Brown Act
It is
requirement.
Brown.
That's right. Yeah,
But you can talk to other districts and get a lot of input. There's other members there from
Like
like sewer
thousands.
districts or water districts, so you can, that's kind of, it's like a networking, but also there's a lot of different meetings that you can go to and learn. So several days.
CSDA's have been a really great organization. We've gotten a lot out of our participation there. Let's see, Christine, do you want to do any attorney's reports? I also know you have something to say before closed session.
Thank you. No, I don't have a report, but I might as well make my statement before closed session that there is an item on the closed session agenda to discuss claims filed against the district related to the Seal Cove emergency area. Director Young has previously disclosed a financial conflict of interest under the Political Reform Act because her residence is located within the restrictions imposed under the real property rule. Accordingly, like before, she will be recusing herself and will not participate in or be present for that closed session item, which is agendized on our agenda. She will leave the meeting prior to the board's consideration of that item, and that it should be reflected in the minutes.
And that's the second item in closed session, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
I always need to say for members of the public, that sounds like scary language, like maybe there's something, there's nothing wrong. This is a matter of, one of us lives near something that is a subject of.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the right proper
So we
thing.
get kicked out.
Okay, yeah, it looks, yeah, but I just want to say there's nothing wrong going on here. In fact, saying we're gonna take some distance from something where there might be a conflict, that is a right and proper thing to do. So, thank you, Christine. Thank you, Sid. And with that, any director's reports?
Just mention a few things on the, let's see. City council meeting, I mentioned it when I got here, but Harvey Rohrbrecht got up to the microphone Tuesday night and started talking about consolidation right away. And, I don't know, I'm not in favor of consolidation with other districts, but, anyway, and then that's a LAFCO issue, by the way. And then last week at the Board of Supervisors, two members of the public from my neighborhood in Seal Cove also got up and spoke during public comment. And I didn't know there was a lawsuit, but I guess they mentioned that there was potential lawsuits, so maybe they've lawyered up, I don't know. And also at that same meeting, Ray Mueller mentioned that there's an upcoming county and MWSD meeting, but there's no date yet, so you know, that's it for that. And then on Clemens' report or general manager's report, I had some questions, but when you get to that.
Isn't it September 15th?
Or
I got September 17th.
Might be,
I don't know, they said August before, but then they, you know, right now they're working on the sheriff's thing.
no, on the
So-
website, it's
Oh, did they change, they've posted it? Is it on our website yet?
it's on this, well, this is a county meeting. And it's on their website. And
For at Ray's office, like the one before.
I will answer all your questions.
Okay.
On the smcgov.org/planning/Seal Cove info. Community meeting to present and discuss the findings and recommendations will be held at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, September 17, in the office of Supervisor Ray Mueller, 270 Capistrano Road. That I stumbled on that because we've worked for so many years with John Mueller.
Right.
At the city. I apologize to Ray. I apologize to John. So at the office, you know, down at the harbor. And then the professionals who prepared the report will be present to share their work and answer questions. So that's Wednesday, September 17, 6 p.m. Catherine.
I just wanted to reinforce that that's when they're gonna be sharing the report, and it is the most recent report of a set of reports that started in 1972. And they have each built upon each other, and there hasn't been any new, the only new information, but not new what am I looking for? Not any new disasters predicted. That was all in the first
So
one,
it's all building on the,
on the first one in 72, yeah.
all right,
It's all reinforcing that.
okay. Let's go to Clemens, General Manager's report. Anything in addition to your staff report or to your written report?
Nothing in addition.
I have
Okay.
some questions on his.
Okay, let's make them quick. We're getting late and we still have a closed session to do.
Sorry, my computer just did a little blip. For just my reference, on page 1, where is Christine Road in our district?
I'm sorry. I was printing a document. I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the question?
Where
No.
is Christine Road? I wasn't mentioning you, but
Oh, sorry.
the road is Christine Road. Anybody know where it is? It's listed here on page 1.
Yeah,
At the
we have
bottom.
road. I'll look into what area that is.
Did he say?
He's gonna look into
I
it.
did. I couldn't find it.
No, he'll look into it.
Okay, and then again, I think this is, forget which page. Burnell and San Lucas is not a cross street, so you mentioned that again, it wasn't corrected. I think I brought it up last time. And on this one, I think it was on page 3 or 4, page 4. That they were gonna work on some, it's under miscellaneous, I think. No. Repairs and leaks, San Lucas and Burnell intersection, no such intersection, redesign the pipework and intersection to move away from fault line. Abandoned 180 feet of 6-inch main and supply customers with above ground high line services from neighbor's home. So that one, this needs to be corrected because it's probably Delmar, not Burnell.
Thanks for pointing
then-
it out.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Okay, and then the last thing is on the newsletter that was printed, it shows the wrong address for the quarterly recycling event on August 12th. Because this time they had it at the Burnham Strip and not at the school. So that was the only other mistake, they are incorrect thing there. That's it.
Oh,
Christine
but-
Road
Yeah.
goes from Park Street down into the Torello Ranch. It's off the
Montara.
says Moss Beach.
Oh, okay, because there's Park in Seal Cove also.
Christine Park.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Christine Road goes from the end of Park Street in Montara down into Moss Beach.
Oh.
In at the Torello Ranch.
Okay, thanks.
I'm just gonna mention,
Good.
I mentioned this on Nextdoor, but Recology, in preparation for the quarterly recycling event, scoped out the site at Fairlawn View, noticed construction was underway, talked to the people there. They said that they were gonna be extending the work into the weekend. And this was like on a Tuesday, so Recology scrambled, found and got support to hold their event. You know, Granada posted signs, posted some at the parking lot. And everybody did their best to help people move to the location, but the good news is the event was still held.
Yeah.
They did the work, and I really appreciate their foresight to scope it out ahead of time and then to find the alternative, because it would have been pretty easy to go, oh, we'll do it later. They just got it done, so thanks to them, thanks to the people who collaborated with them.
Granada letting us use their.
Yeah.
Space.
All right, we are now going to end the public session. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We're going to be going into closed session after PCT, our friends from PCT who are here helping get this out to folks who are not present. After we reconvene, we'll be having an item of existing litigation with the City of Half Moon Bay case. And Also,
Golly.
anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2. Subdivision D, government code 54956.9, 2 potential cases about the seal code and emergency. If we take any action in closed session, we'll report that when we come out. With that, thank you all. Thank you for participating in this civic process. We are now in recess.